Welcome back to the A.D.1926 video series. This is part 47. Last time we left off around here, just east of Groom on Hudson Road. This may have been Route 66. If not, it certainly would have been the path just before it. In 1929, we would have passed the 66 station, and maybe it was under a different name before then. And this is looking down Route 66 in Groom at sunset. Let's see what we can do tonight. This would be the first issue of the Groom News in the official air of Route 66. That'd be Thursday, November 11th. So maybe Saturday we could see Never the Twain Shall Meet. Or on Tuesday we could see Buster Keaton in Go West. Because this is the 1920s, this would have been a silent film. Judging from the size of the town, my guess that the accompaniment would have been only solo piano. I doubt that there is a theater organ with multiple ranks and pipes and so forth, and I haven't been able to find any information about the Bluebird Theater beyond these advertisements. Or maybe we could see the local band in performance. In the summer of 26, Groom organized its first band. Here's what they looked like in the following spring. Oh hey, what do you know? They're playing Friday, November 12th. Ooh, looks like they're doing a minstrel show. Yeah, unfortunately, this would have been done in blackface. It probably looked something like this. This photo was taken at a school in Oklahoma City, and as disturbing as minstrel shows are and blackfaces, these are children, and moreover, this photo was from 1963. These children are of the baby boomer generation. The mocking of African Americans was commonplace at the time, not just minstrel shows, but other things in pop culture, such as the comic strip Hambone's Meditations. This one comes from the Groom News in September of 1926. And apparently it's a long tradition in Groom, because I found this article for the school band doing a minstrel show in January 1965. And it wasn't just Groom, but also McLean's band did a minstrel show in 1927 in Groom. And if there is any doubt that this was not done in blackface, this article makes it quite clear. The McLean band was new in 1927, and this is what they look like, thankfully without blackface. In September of 1926, a vaudeville show called Russell's Comedians came to town and performed at the Bluebird Theater. Notice at the bottom that it says the performance included a jazz band and an orchestra. A violinist by the name of Jimmy Manier moved to Groom in fall of 1926 and began to give violin lessons in January of 1927. We probably would have been able to hear him perform. And we certainly could have. In 1928, they published the program of one of his recitals, and I assume an orchestra that he put together as well as his students. They published it on the front page of the Groom News. So to get inspiration to sort of put myself in that place, I've been listening to music that would have been on that program. For instance, this is the Honolulu Moon. There appears to be plenty of musical activity in Groom at this time. This article from November of 27 mentions the band, as well as a kitchen band concert coming up, and a recent performance by musicians from Amarillo that came to perform at the school. How about getting a bite to eat? Well, when 66 first came through, maybe we stop at the City Cafe or John's Lunchroom. Or maybe we need some repairs on the Route 66 suite vehicle. Stop at the Postal Service Station or KP's Filling Station, which changed hands the day 66 came through. And then a couple weeks later, the Postal Service Station changed hands as well. Another thing important for a traveler is where to stay. Notice in this article a mention of a Groom Hotel. Here's a listing of businesses in Groom in 1929. And many of them probably did exist in 1926. I know that the U.S. Hotel 66 did not, but perhaps the Jim Byes Auto Camp did, an alternative to the Groom Hotel. I'm not sure where all those businesses used to be, but at least here's where the Groom News is today. So we'll head westbound out of Groom on Old 66, which was 2-lane from 1926 into the 50s. This is eastbound footage played in reverse. The actual westbound lanes are across the median. That was 1950s and later. We're traveling westbound on what was the eastbound lanes of Route 66 in the 50s and 60s. That's because original 66 is now eastbound lanes for I-40. It became westbound lanes only in the 50s and 60s. We are now entering the Route 66 ghost town of Lark, Texas. I have a whole separate video on this town you should check out. In 1926, there was the Lark filling station. It was also a store and post office. In fact, the post office operated until 1968. On the north side of 66 was the Lark School and some other building, perhaps the filling station or some other store. So just to the west of this north-south street, where you see that pile of dark gray rocks, that was the site of the Lark School. Here's looking north from the site of the Lark School. All this footage is in this other video. As you can see, there's really nothing left of this ghost town. Here in the foreground, you see original 66, and in the background, the site of the Lark School. The next town down 66 is Conway. Here's looking westbound, and we see the station that may have been there in 1926. After a long segment of paved road, we're back on original 66, unpaved dirt and gravel, giving us a real feel for A.D. 1926. And right around here, 66 curved to the north and continues on County Road H. We're about to cross that paved version of 66, the 1930s and later alignment, but originally it continued north here. These days it's cut off by I-40, and just north of there it curves to the left and continues on what is now the north frontage road for I-40. That second alignment of 66 that we crossed earlier, Farm Road 2161, that's just off to the left, and it joins us. So this road here, this was Route 66 the whole time, 1926 into the 1960s. Route 66 always bypassed Yarnall. It was about a mile to the south. So we'll stop here for part 47, and next time we'll head into Amarillo. Check out part 48 of the A.D.1926 video series coming out soon. Be sure to subscribe at patreon.com/Route66Suite.